Sometimes, life feels like a broken puzzle. We lose something, we suffer, we question why things happen the way they do. And in those moments, a thought comes to our heart. Maybe life is unfair. Maybe we are forgotten. But what if the truth is this? Every pain, every joy, every delay, every silence is part of a greater plan. Tonight, you will hear the story of a boy and the moment he discovered that God has a plan for every soul. There was once a boy named Keon. He was no more than 12 years old, yet his heart carried the weight of someone far older. He had lost his father in an accident a year ago, and his mother, though strong, struggled to feed them both. Poverty had become a shadow in their home. Sometimes there was food, sometimes there was only silence at the table. Keon would sit by the river every evening, throwing stones into the water, whispering to the sky, "Why me? Why us? If there is a God, why is he so cruel? Why would he take away the only person who cared for me? Why is life so hard?" One evening, his mother, tired but hopeful, placed her hand on his shoulder. "Keon, there's a man in the mountains. They call him a Zen master. People say he carries wisdom like the sky carries stars. If your heart is restless, go to him. Ask your questions." The next morning, with only a piece of bread in his pocket, Keon set off on the long journey. His feet ached, the sun burned, and hunger gnawed at him, but something deeper pushed him forward, the desperate need to understand why his life felt so broken. Hours passed. The path wound through forests and climbed up stony trails. Finally, at the edge of a silent mountain clearing, he saw a small hut. Smoke curled from the chimney, and outside sat the Zen master, cross-legged, tending to a small fire. His eyes were calm, like still water. Keon approached, his voice trembling. "Master, I need to know, why did God take my father? Why is my life full of pain? Why does everything feel so unfair? I want to know, is there even a plan, or are we just left to suffer alone?" The master looked at the boy, not with pity, but with a deep kindness. He motioned for Keon to sit. For a moment, there was only silence. The wind whispered through the trees, and the crackle of fire filled the air. Then the master spoke softly. "Tell me, boy, when you look at this fire, what do you see?" Keon frowned. "Wood? Flames? Smoke?" The master nodded. "But what you do not see is the seed. Long before this fire, there was a seed. That seed broke apart to become a tree. The tree gave shade, bore fruit, and finally, it was cut and burned to give warmth. You see only the fire, but God saw the seed, the tree, the shade, the fruit, and the flame. There is a plan, one that you cannot see all at once." Keon's eyes dropped to the ground. "But what about my father? Why would God take him from me? I feel so empty." The master leaned closer. "Do you love your father?" "With all my heart," Keon whispered. "Then understand this. Love does not end with death. Your father's story is not finished. His lessons, his sacrifices, his love, they are the roots inside you. Sometimes God's plan looks like loss, but what feels like an ending is often the beginning of something greater. You ask, why me? But the truth is, every soul carries a unique path, and every moment, even the painful ones, are shaping who you are meant to be." Keon's eyes filled with tears. "But it hurts. It hurts too much." The master closed his eyes for a moment, then stood up. He walked into his hut and returned with a clay pot. Inside it was a small green sprout pushing through soil. If it could speak, it might have cried, "Why am I trapped here? Why am I suffocating in the dirt?" It did not know that God's plan was for it to break open, to grow roots, to rise towards the sun. If you only look at the darkness of the soil, you think it is punishment. But if you trust the process, you realize it was preparation. Keon stared at the sprout, his young heart wrestling with the truth. The master continued, his voice steady. God's plan is not always comfort. It is growth. Sometimes he allows us to be buried, broken, bent, not to destroy us, but to prepare us for what we are meant to become. The question is not, why me? The question is, what is this moment teaching me? For the first time, Keon felt his anger soften. But Master, he said quietly, how do I know God really has a plan for me? The Master smiled. Do you see the river below this mountain? Yes, Keon nodded. The river bends, twists, crashes against rocks. To the fish swimming inside, it may seem like chaos, but step back and you see the river always flows towards the ocean. Life feels like chaos when you are in it, but God sees the whole river. He knows the path you cannot see. Trust Him. Even the rocks that block you are guiding you to the sea. Keon was silent, lost in thought. The fire crackled, the sprout leaned towards the light, and for the first time, his heart felt lighter. The master placed a hand on his shoulder. Listen carefully. You may not understand today. You may not understand tomorrow. But one day, you will look back and see every loss, every delay, every unanswered prayer was part of the same puzzle. God was never punishing you. He was shaping you. Keon wiped his eyes. So my pain has meaning? The master nodded. Yes, your pain is the soil, your tears are the rain, and your faith is the sunlight. Together, they grow something beautiful inside you. Trust this, God has a plan for you. Even now, even here. That night, Keon slept in the hut beside the master. For the first time in months, his dreams were peaceful. In the morning, as the sun painted the mountain gold, he began the long walk home. The journey was the same, but he was not. As he reached his village, he saw his mother waiting at the door. For the first time, instead of seeing her weariness, he saw her strength. He hugged her tightly. "Mother," he whispered, "I think I understand now. Life is hard, but it is not meaningless. God has a plan for us." From that day forward, Keon lived differently. He studied harder, helped his mother with love, and dreamed again. And though challenges remained, his heart no longer carried despair. It carried faith. And years later, when Keon grew into a man, he looked back and saw the loss of his father, the tears by the river, the walk to the mountains, the words of the master. All of it had shaped him into who he became. And in that moment, he whispered to the sky, "Thank you. I see the plan now." So remember this, when life feels unbearable, when questions burn in your chest, when the world feels unfair, don't mistake the soil for the grave. Sometimes God plants you in darkness so you can grow towards the light. Trust that He sees what you cannot see, because even in silence, even in pain, even when everything seems broken, God has a plan for you. And if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear these words tonight. Remind them that no pain is wasted, no journey is meaningless, and no life is forgotten.